In August of 2019, a summer heat wave gripped North Bergen, New Jersey. It was weeks past without rain, and there were signs of drought were just everywhere. The air was thick with heat, and the pavement radiated warmth, and the garden, which was my grandfather's pride and joy, was struggling to survive. My grandfather Louis had spent years cultivating this space, a small but thriving patch of green nestled between the city's concrete and brick. Each morning, he tended to the plants with care. I remember his weathered hands brushing against leaves heavy with dust. But that summer, no matter how much we watered, the earth remained thirsty. The grass remained dry. It was very interesting. One afternoon, I stood beside him, watching the water seep into the ground, and I thought very little of it. After all, water had always been there when I needed it. If the plants were dry, we just simply turned on the hose, and there it was. However, I guess Louis saw it very differently. He then placed his hand on my shoulder and said, "Water's not unlimited. We have to respect it." I didn't understand it at first. How could something as simple as water be so fragile? But in that moment, I saw what he saw, how easily we take it for granted, and how quickly it can disappear. Days had passed, the heat pressed on, and then something finally happened. The sky had shifted, the air smelled different, and then without warning, the first raindrop fell, and then another, and another. The garden came alive before my eyes. The once wilted leaves stood taller, drinking in the water they had been waiting for. The dry, cracked earth darkened as it absorbed every single drop. I stepped out into the downpour, I remember, letting the rain soak through my clothes. I was soaking wet. I expected my grandfather to tell me to come inside, but instead he didn't. He just stood on the porch, watching and smiling. And I remember that day I learned something I had never truly really understood before. That water isn't just a resource, but it's life itself. And my grandfather knew that, and now I do as well.